Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and this is my review of Aliens vs. Predator. Alien vs. Predator? Alien vs. Predators. Whatever. I just saw it. It's a Paul W.S. Anderson movie from 2004, and we need to have a talk. Because I know I'm doing the reviewing here, and you're writing the comments, and I'm reading your comments. Why did not anyone tell me this is basically my ideal movie? Like, I think maybe a couple people kind of hinted in that direction that they thought I would really like it, but oh my gosh. So I'm going through the Aliens franchise. I did the four with Sigourney Weaver. I'm going to watch these two Alien versus Predator movies, and then I'm going to do Prometheus and Alien Resurrection. No. Whatever the sequel to Prometheus was. I've seen all those movies, but I'm just going to see them again kind of closer together, even though I haven't remotely watched them either in order of being shot or, chronological order in the franchise. So, Alien vs. Predator was freaking awesome. It came out in kind of this, I don't know, I wasn't deployed. It was in between the Marines and the Army. Where my excuse for not seeing it was that I was ridiculously poor. So I was going to school, living off the GI Bill. The GI Bill basically paid for my school, my rent, and gas and utilities and food, and there was nothing left over. Nothing. I get DVDs from the library, and that was my fun. So I just kind of vaguely remember the first one existing. I saw the second one at Grafenwehr, I think, in like 2007 at the Base Theater. And I liked it. I remember almost nothing from it. All I remember was that it was set in the modern day and there was something in a high school pool. That was it. But I remember going there just because I was, stuck on Graph for a few weeks. Nothing better to do. I saw it. I liked it. So anyway, I watched this, and oh my gosh, I loved pretty much every second of this. It's probably the best what I like in a comic book translated to screen ever. Now, I do remember Paul W.S. Anderson. By the way, I watched Mortal Kombat a few days ago, and I'm going to review that soon. But I remember back in the day in like the proto-internet of the 1990s, like Paul W.S. Anderson, he was just the worst. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's on this proper. Oh, he's just the worst. I think I saw like half of Event Horizon. Every time he came out with something, I didn't see it. I think, so I actually thought I saw Mortal Kombat until I watched it the other day. I was like, yeah, I've never seen this movie ever. I liked it. But as far as I can tell, Paul W.S. Anderson's shtick is he writes and directs movies that most people would say, this is hack schlock, I don't care. And he says, this is hack schlock, and I really care. Like, that's his wheelhouse. He freaking loves this, genre and style. So, Alien vs. Predator is Kong Skull Island I think they were at the South Pole. It was one of those things where they get a whole bunch of people, like a ridiculous amount of people, like 20 people, say, hey, we need to go on this incredibly dangerous mission tomorrow. No safety protocols. Oh, even less safety protocols. Now, it's one of those ones where at the beginning you're like, why didn't anyone take this? And then you remember the economy was really bad in 2004. Like, all you needed was one line referencing how bad the economy was from like 2000, 9/11 put, at least I think the world economy, American economy, like, it was whack. It was in the doldrums for like a decade after that. So all you have to do is a couple lines about, I'm about to lose the house. I was even thinking you just have Waylon say, all these people, everyone kind of doesn't want to talk about how like they're desperate and they took this. And then one by one, they all kind of notice that they're all getting, like evicted. And then they're like, did this rich guy just find a bunch of desperate people who are losing their house? And a bunch of people take an incredibly dangerous mission for no benefit at all, basically. And, maybe it was just understood and 2004 that the economy was so bad that people would take any job no matter how dangerous it is. But you know, the economy's been pretty good for the last 5 years, so that one stuck out to me. So Sanaa Lathan, who is weirdly kind of awesome, even though she absolutely does not fit. I've seen her in a bunch of movies. I can't name any, but she's very familiar. She's been in a lot of stuff. She looks like an attorney. But basically she's playing Ethan Hunt. I can't tell if you're a divorce lawyer, a patent attorney. I'm thinking some sort of corporate lawyer. That's what you look like. That's the vibe you give off. So they get a crew together and they go down to, I think, the South Pole to investigate an anomaly. And again, it has that really bad rationale that Kong Skull Island has, like, well, there's satellites in space and someone else is going to see this, so we all have to risk our lives right now to make this dying rich guy slightly richer and slightly less dying. But they go, and then it just gets really awesome. It's basically I don't know if I call it a haunted house. It's this weird thing where you can tell they did things to like save, like, hey, let's get everyone to 1 or 2 sound stages, and then that'll you know, cut down the price of things. But they set up a really interesting scenario that the Predators, first of all, they came to Earth, and I don't know if I would exactly say they colonized it, but you know, all that Chariot of the Gods stuff from the, what was it, 70s, that was them. But then they also had access to the Xenomorphs. Obviously, this was undone by the later movies by Ridley Scott, but at this time, the Xenomorphs had been in the state we saw them in the first Alien movie for thousands of years. So they would set up these chambers to, you know, use sacrificial victims to gestate the face hugger embryo or whatever you call that thing, and then the chest burster, and then they would hunt it. And they've got it all kind of clicks quite well. There's this shifting temple that the walls shift every 10 minutes or whenever it's convenient to the plot. And it's just fun. The production design is kind of awesome. So as I said at the beginning, this movie never has any illusions that it's anything more than a monster mashup. And it has fun, and it really tries. One of my favorite parts is the kind of the rules of this game, the environment, and then we meet, boy, I gotta tell you, the Predators in this one are some thick boys. Oh my gosh! Like they're my favorite Predators. There's 3 of them. 2 of them get taken out, and then you just got this one left. And he ends up forming a partnership with the corporate divorce lawyer or whatever she is. That part is freaking awesome. There's a great point where she basically, I mean, go watch it, but there's these 3 weapons. When you pick them up, you're accepting the challenge. When you return them, you're basically surrendering. And I think you're allowed to live if you do that, you know, if you're able to get to the other one and like return the weapon, and they accept it. But at one point she ends up killing an alien essentially by accident. And then he takes the blood and marks her face as a sign of, you know, respect for her kill. And there's a lot of like just unspoken acting between this thick boy and the corporate divorce lawyer lead. And that part was like, I don't know if I'd call it like emotional, but it was very like, I don't know, human. It's kind of mutual respect between the 2 of them. I kept saying that the woman should have had dreadlocks, because it would have been such a cool, you know, the Predators have dreadlocks. She has dreadlocks. They could have been like, oh, you know, it's the Warriors hairdo. But it ends with something that I either missed or was just tacked on, where the thick boy Predator has a Predalien chest burster, and we've seen earlier in the movie that their visors could literally x-ray people and see chest bursters before they chest burst. So I feel like, you know, the Klingon-esque, you know, honor society of the Predators, first of all, he would have known if he would have gotten, you know, implanted with a chest burster, and he wouldn't have allowed himself to be captured or anything like that. There was a point where I don't know. I was paying attention, so I don't remember a part where he could have been, but anyway, I was reading on the Wikipedia that I think this Predalien is the main, the monster being hunted in the sequel. But absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I want to watch more Paul W.S. Anderson movies. I love a guy who does schlock and says, I'm going to make some good schlock because I actually like schlock. I think I've seen like one or two of the Resident Evil movies. He's got a new one with his wife, Mila Jovovich. Does anyone remember where she did like one album and it was actually like highly respected? It wasn't just celebrity does an album. Like people were like, no, she's a legitimate musician. She could have an entire career as a musician. She just did one. I think it was called Mila, and I don't think she did it anymore. Maybe one follow-up, but it's a new one. It basically looks like Resident Evil, so I'm going to check that out. But I'm definitely looking for any more recommends. I've already seen Mortal Kombat. I'll probably review that one tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will review Mortal Kombat tomorrow.